To give you about heavy rain potential that's coming Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Okay.
Definitely something you're going to want to pay attention to.
All right, we'll look forward to that. We start at 5 with some news on the coronavirus. We have some relief for parents today, some much anticipated relief. It's not here yet, but it's around the corner. Pfizer says that its vaccine is safe for kids between the ages of 5 and 11 years old.
Now, we know a lot of parents have questions about this. Me too. So we brought in our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins. Obviously, Monica, top of mind for parents. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the green light for the 5 to 12-year-olds. Is that coming soon?
Soon, relatively, yes, you could say that. Now, Pfizer says its vaccine is safe for kids, but we are still a ways off from this becoming available. Pfizer now has to submit emergency use authorization to the FDA by the end of this month, and then the FDA has to go over all of their data before deciding whether or not to sign off on this one for kids. Now, the earliest that may happen is the end of October. The timing is important because cases in kids have jumped 240% since July. Here's what we know about the vaccine impact on kids.
The vaccine in the 5 to 11-year-olds from Pfizer has shown to be very effective in initiating a very protective antibody response, even at smaller doses, because we're not giving the adult dose to these smaller children. We're giving about a third of that, and yet we're seeing a very, very good antibody response.
Now, there is something different about this. Dr. Esper says the robust antibody response didn't show up until a month after the second dose, but that response was able to neutralize the virus. This trial involved 2,000 kids. Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are also testing their vaccines in younger kids, 5 to 11, but likely they are a few months behind Pfizer, and of course, Pfizer hoping to have results of 6 months to 2 years by the end of this year.
Wow.
That is big news. I mean, we know that the coronavirus, it's very rare that it kills young kids, but these are potential spreaders. If they get it, then they can give it to people who are more vulnerable. So this hopefully will help slow some of that spread.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of question about that too, how much viral load the kids get and how much they can impact people. But what we do know is that the Delta variant is impacting kids far more. So it's really important that, nobody wants to have that kid that gets the Delta variant and ends up in the hospital.
Well, my question is regarding, and this is not just for kids, it's for adults too. We've got flu shots. It's now pneumonia shot season and shingles shots, and then the kids have other vaccine shots. How do you layer all this stuff together?
Talk to your doctor.
Obviously.
That's the first thing I would tell you. When it comes to kids, though, what people need to understand is that the CDC does say you can get your flu shot and COVID vaccine at the same time.
Okay, that's a big one.
That is a big one, yes. You can do that. Now, as for the other vaccines, you really need to talk to your doctor or pediatrician about those. But what's really important to remember is it depends how tough the person is.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have two sore arms if you get them both at the same time. If you're a tough cookie and you don't mind that, or you're a masochist like me, go ahead. And,
or you just want to get it all over with at once.
Or you just want to get it all over with at once. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and get them both. But yeah, otherwise, it is safe to do so. It's going to be personal preference. But again, as for the others, it's really important you talk to your doctor.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it.
Sure.
Thanks, Monica. Well, it was a weekend filled with gun violence in Cleveland. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson's own grandson, Frank Q. Jackson, was killed in a shooting last night. This happened on the city's east side.
Brandon Simmons joins us now with more on what happened. Brandon?
Hi, Jay and Betsy. Yeah, we've often talked about crime being the focus of the city's mayor, and now, of course, as you said, that problem really hitting home as the mayor mourns the death of his own grandson, who is one of the latest victims of gun violence here in the city of Cleveland. Now, the details about this case are scarce at the moment, with police only saying that 24-year-old Frank Q. Jackson was shot last night in the area of East 70th Street and Sitaway near the Garden Valley Estates housing complex. Now, following the shooting, there was a heavy police presence in the area, with many high-ranking police officials responding, including Police Chief Calvin Williams, who at times stood alongside Mayor Frank Jackson along with one of the city's councilmen, Blaine Griffin. Now, at this time, police are asking anyone with information about the shooting to come forward and contact them. Now, there's also been an outpouring of support for the mayor. Earlier today, City Council released a statement offering their sympathies to Mayor Frank Jackson and his family. They also added that Cleveland police are investigating the case and they believe the person or persons responsible will be brought to justice. And both of Cleveland's mayoral candidates also released statements. Council President Kevin Kelly offered his condolences, calling the sudden loss of a child or grandchild tragic, while also asking the community to let Jackson's family grieve in peace. And also candidate Justin Bibb also sent out a statement offering his condolences and saying that he is keeping the Jackson family in his prayers this evening. Now, over the years, the mayor's grandson has been in the news for some very troubling headlines, including some misdemeanors, also some felonies. He's also been linked to gangs in the city of Cleveland and also was at one point tied to a murder investigation. We'll have more information on all of those things coming up on What Matters Most at 6, but obviously more gun violence in Cleveland, a very tragic ending here with Cleveland's mayor in mourning.
It certainly is. All right, Brandon, thank you so much. And as Brandon mentioned, the mayor has been tight-lipped about the relationship between him and his grandson. We have more information on that at WKYC.com. Turning now to politics, longtime state lawmaker Matt Dolan, whose family owns the Indians, is officially throwing his hat into the primary race for next year to replace Senator Rob Portman. Portman is going to be retiring, and Dolan has already distanced himself from other candidates from Northeast Ohio in the race, saying he is explicitly not campaigning on former President Donald Trump's agenda, nor does he believe the 2020 election was stolen. In an interview with 3 News, Mark Namick, Dolan said he feels like people are starving for the truth and he will provide that. We'll have more of his interview ahead on What Matters Most at 6.
Quick snap, Mayfield back, pulls it down, he's going to run, and he's going to drive, touchdown, Baker Mayfield! Mayfield takes it, gives it, Chubb runs, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, he's in! Touchdown, Nick Chubb! It's all over today. A hard-fought win for the Browns.
Hard fought indeed. They had to do it on the ground. All fine with me.
That's right.
I love it when they run the ball.
That's right.
Not a Picasso, but we've said this before. You never in the NFL apologize for a win. The Browns used a second-half surge. They get their first victory of the season, 31-21 over the Houston Texans yesterday at First Energy. But they still have a lot of things that they need to clean up before the Bears come to town on Sunday. Nick Camino's here. It's never a good thing when you see a meme on Monday morning
here we go.
involving the best player on your team's defense. I saw this today. It said, what do Chick-fil-A and Myles Garrett have in common?
Oh, no.
And the answer on this meme, and I didn't write it, don't get mad at me, was they're both closed on Sundays.
Oh, God.
He was invisible yesterday. No solo tackles. I know. I mean,
listen, we know, Jay, this was not the prettiest game of all time, okay?
It's
not going to be on classic NFL films. But as you said, a win is a win is a win. We're never going to apologize for that. This is the NFL. Do we remember 0-16? It wasn't all that long ago, okay? We're going to celebrate this one. And what more can you say about the toughness of Baker Mayfield? The Browns quarterback hurts his left shoulder after trying to make a tackle following an interception. That was scary. But how about Baker? Didn't miss a play after it. In fact, he didn't have an incompletion after that. Baker finished the game 19 of 21 through the air for 213 yards, threw a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown. I was impressed with his toughness. Now, speaking of injuries, Jay, Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry has been listed as week to week with an MCL sprain. It happened on the very first drive of the game. Coach Kevin Stefanski, he met with the media today on a Zoom call and talked about Landry.
I've already spoken to him. He's attacking his rehab, as you can imagine. Nobody likes to be injured, but it's kind of going back to the statement I just made about Jed. These guys are going to fight their rear ends off to get back and battle and compete with their teammates. And I think Jarvis will be another example of that.
Listen, Jay, we've seen this with all NFL teams. You're going to be tested with depth, with injuries. And again, we'll say it. Sure, not the prettiest game of all time, but you'll take the victory heading into that game with the Chicago Bears.
when you have Chubb and Hunt, you can afford to lose a Beckham and a Landry and still be okay against the Texans. So the Bears come to town Sunday. Big storyline for them was a lot of folks thought Justin Fields would get the starting job to begin the season. He's, of course, the high draft pick out of Ohio State. He's played some sparingly. They beat the Bengals yesterday. Dalton is their starter, but he's dinged. What's going on there?
Yeah, so right now we don't know who's going to get the start for them for this Week 3 matchup against the Browns. But I'll say this, Fields has looked better than Dalton. There's no other way to put that. I mean, he brings you that extra dynamic that we kind of saw the Browns struggle with Tyrod Taylor, right? He brings that dynamic of being able to run the football a little bit too. So we'll see what happens this upcoming Sunday. The thing that scares me about the Bears too, always tough on defense. They run the football pretty well too. So we'll see what happens come Sunday at 1 o'clock.
I'll be shocked if it's not Fields.
And we love the storylines, right?
Oh, it's a great story. Why not? Get his first start back in the Buckeye State.
A lot of fun.
All right, Nick, thanks. Appreciate it. Still ahead on what's new. Houseplants hit a surge in popularity during the height of the pandemic. We now have a thing called National Indoor Plant Week. We're going to tell you all about it next.
Plus, Kiera is on deck with our daily pop break. She'll have the highlights from last night's Emmy Awards, including the ensuing controversy, when we come back.
And our first hello of the show to Matt Wintz. Matt, another beautiful day out there.
Yeah, pretty nice for the most part, but as Betsy alluded to, things are starting to change. Clouds are thickening. We do have some spotty showers for your fall sports forecast this evening. We'll fall back into the 70s. That muggy feeling sticks around, and then it doesn't. We've got some heavy rain in between that to talk about. A busy forecast. We'll have the details coming up.
Well, during the pandemic, houseplants became very popular, and today kicks off National Indoor Plant Week. So we decided to dig into what the buzz is all about with these pandemic plants and why so many people are greening up their space.
Yeah, kind of looks like a greenhouse in here right now with our background and these beautiful plants.
Little jungle-rific in here.
Yes, it is. Fun fact here, everyone knows our Matt Wintz is a proud father to 3 children. He's also a plant dad. I remember when he had to be away from his plant during the pandemic, he was begging us to please look out for it and water it.
Didn't do so well.
Well, we tried, Matt. We're sorry. Recently, Matt talked to a horticulturist from Costa Farms about all things plants.
Houseplants were often seen as, well, this is something little old ladies do. And now, it's not just mainstream, but it's chic.
Chances are you either have houseplants or you know someone who does. And plant people are very much into their plants, now more than ever.
We saw houseplants starting to grow in popularity before the pandemic, and then COVID just ignited it.
Someone's just starting out and they say, you know what, I don't have a lot of plants in my house. I have a lot of faux plants, whatever it happens to be. First of all, how do you sell someone? Like, what are the benefits of actually having houseplants versus fake plants?
I don't even know where to start with that one. There are so many. My favorites are, there's a lot of studies that talk about how plants are really good for our health psychologically. Studies that talk about how they increase our productivity, how they can reduce our stress. Some even point to houseplants being able to lower our blood pressure if we just spend some time looking at them and being mindful around them.
What are some of the things, the most common problems with houseplants, and how can people fix them?
The most common scenario I think we see with plant failure is you don't have the right plant in the right place. And if you have right plant, right place, that's going to do 75% of the work for you. So really matching up the amount of light you have and being honest about the kind of watering you'll do. More plants die from overwatering than underwatering. It's easy to give them too much love.
If you were just starting out and want to experiment with houseplants, give this plant a shot first.
Pothos is great because it's so durable. It has heart-shaped green leaves with kind of cream or yellow speckling. You can grow it from a basket so it trails down. You can grow it horizontally on a mantle. You can let it grow up, so it's really versatile. But it's really easy too. You can grow it in low light, medium light, bright light. If you forget to water it 2 weeks, it's just fine.
But if you're still on the fence about being an indoor houseplant person, remember this.
That faux plant is just going to collect dust, but your real plant, that's experiential. The more you care for it, the more it's going to grow. It responds to you. And so in some ways, it's almost more like a pet than it is a home decor accessory.
And it doesn't talk back, which I like. It's fantastic.
Exactly. You don't need to take it for a walk every day like I do my dog.
Oh, you don't? I'm going to stop doing that then.
You mean you don't take your plants for a walk?
I don't anymore. That was a very helpful conversation that we had, for sure. Guys, we talked about so much. I mean, this is one of my favorite interviews. We talked about how to repot, the different kinds of soils to use, the relationship between us and plants and the weather and all that. It was a great conversation. Obviously, we probably went for an entire day talking. I think it was a 23-hour interview, but there's more of it at WKYC.com.
Beautiful. Now, we have all these gorgeous plants here, Matt. What are we doing with these? Is there some sort of competition or something?
Yeah, so I've got a little challenge with you. I want to kind of set the stage and let you know how to take care of houseplants first before you guys jump right in. So I want to show you a couple of my favorites here. I don't know the names of any of these. I called him out with this Costa Farms guy that I interviewed. He knew the name and how to water and everything. This thing's got some red flowers. It needs a lot of light, so we got a little grow light over here. One of the coolest things, I think, if you don't like the houseplants, you can grow fruit as well. So I labeled this. I'm growing this at home. I labeled it some pitted fruit, but it's actually an avocado. So this came right from a seed. It was fun with the kids. We took an avocado pit and you put the toothpicks in it and you put the bottom half in water for about 3 months. It'll turn soft. Eventually it sprouts. And this is literally an avocado tree that Emmy and I have grown from scratch. So if you don't like the houseplant thing, you can do fruit too, which is really cool. So let's talk. I've got a challenge for you. I got to remember my clicker as well. But Costa Farms, they were awesome. They sent us these 2 plants, which are of the wax variety. They're super hard to kill, so that's why we thought it'd be a good idea to give it you 2. And we're going to have a little competition. So what we'll do is you guys will each keep these. You have to keep them at your desk.
All right.
Actually,
here in the newsroom?
Betsy, I know your skills maybe aren't as good at growing plants, so we'll give you the one that has a true new sprout.
Ooh.
You have to stay in the newsroom at your desk, all right? So you guys have to take care of them, but we're going to check in, every month or so.
To see how they're doing.
To see how you guys are doing.
Do we keep the saran wrap over that?
No, you're gonna want it to breathe. That's how they shipped it.
I've never seen that before, so I'm just wondering. And by the way, this would be my first plant. My wife is a green thumb. We got them all over the house.
She's not allowed to come in the station.
That's why we said it has to stay here. Because we knew Tracy would be on that. Yeah,
all right, I'll take the saran wrap off first, and then I'll water it once a week.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
You
have to
better
do the
figure it
research.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you got to talk to it.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Are you ready for your weather word today?
And good luck, because I saw what it is.
Yeah, good luck. This is tough. It's photosynthesis.
Good luck.
Jay.
But it fits in perfectly with all of it.
Unreal. You're unreal. Okay, we'll get that into the forecast real soon because we've got a lot of information outside of that to talk about. So we'll get that in. You guys care for those plants. It starts now. Don't think that you can slack over the next 5 minutes. You talk to, name your plants over there. Clouds thickening up across northeast Ohio tonight. You notice the clouds have been thickening up from the south, getting some tropical moisture in here on that southerly breeze. We have had some spotty showers, but we'll likely pick up those showers and intensities as we get throughout the morning hours. Nothing major coming our way tomorrow, just some scattered showers here and there. And that's been the case today, primarily off towards the west. We've had some rain. You're seeing some new pops down to the south as those clouds do continue to thicken. This is a wave of moisture out of the south. This is actually indirectly related to the remnants of Nicholas. The moisture kind of sat and it wasn't able to move across the southeast. This is now coming northward. You can see some of the heavier rain off towards the west. Again, a lot of that, there's not a lot of forcing with that, so there's not going to be a lot of rain tonight or tomorrow, but scattered showers. All this heading off towards the north because we've got a very dynamic storm system that's marching across the country. Area low pressure heading in from the west. All the moisture going to kind of collect around that, and it's going to change our pattern as well. We've got cooler air on the way. We've got the warm, muggy air that's going to be with us for another day and a half, but the temps aren't really the big story with this. It's the rainfall potential. So as we look at the big picture, your National Design Mart forecast front comes in. We'll have a line of showers and thunderstorms later tomorrow. We still have that rain we've got now kind of mixing in, so scattered showers. But watch what happens. Front stalls across northeast Ohio with some pretty decent rain with that. New area low pressure is going to develop down to the south. That will keep this rain in place as we get on into Wednesday. Eventually that low will head north. It's still raining across a good chunk of Ohio, and eventually it'll lift on out. But we've got a prolonged period with the potential for some excessive rainfall around here. In terms of modeling, I showed this over the weekend. We've got a good potential for heavy rain, several inches. Where exactly this axis lines up still yet to be determined, but you can see the trend is we've got some really heavy rain on the way, perhaps 2, 3, 4, even up to 5 inches, depending on where that band sets up Wednesday. So more into the details. You can see some of the green here. Looks like a photosynthesis process is going on with some of the rain. That's the only way I could get that. I don't even have a fall forecast for you guys. You see the showers around tomorrow morning. Eventually we'll scatter them out as we go throughout the day. Cooler and cloudy tomorrow. It's Tuesday night and Wednesday. We start to bring that front in. It's going to sit with lots of heavy rain around here through the day Wednesday. Rarely use the term washout, but Wednesday is a washout. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Cooler Wednesday, Thursday with lingering showers. Another system Saturday, Sunday. Look at the cool temperatures though, 70s and 60s. Fall is here. We'll be back.
Hi, how are you? Doing fantastic, David. It's Victory Monday. It's time to take a pop break.
Yeah, big doings last night with the Emmy Awards. Hollywood's best showed up. Kiara Cotton has the biggest highlights.
Award season is officially upon us, and I'm back with another recap. The Emmy Awards took place last night, and the stars showed up to honor television's biggest and brightest. The mostly in-person event was hosted by Cedric the Entertainer, who did just that, opening with his own rendition of the late Biz Marquis's Just a Friend and a monologue that poked fun at the Met Gala, Nicki Minaj, and even the Jeopardy host saga. Now, let's get to the actual awards. For the first time, streaming services dominated all of the major categories. Apple's Ted Lasso and Netflix's The Crown were the night's biggest winners, taking home 4 and 7 awards respectively. Brett Goldstein gave an F-bomb-riddled acceptance speech in true Roy fashion. Kate Winslet won Outstanding Actress for her role in Mayor of Easttown. Kerry Washington remembered the late Michael K. Williams. And Michaela Cole won her first Emmy for Outstanding Writing on HBO's I May Destroy You. But the show didn't go without critique. Despite the diverse pool of nominees, not a single person of color received a trophy in any of the 12 major acting categories, which led to much debate on social media and the hashtag #EmmySoWhite to trend throughout the night. History was also made last night as RuPaul, earning his 11th award for his work on Drag Race, became the most decorated black person in the award show's history. And of course, we couldn't forget Debbie Allen, who took home the Governor's Award for her endless contributions to the industry. And last but not least, the new season of The Voice kicks off tonight right here on Channel 3. The OG coaches, Blake Shelton, John Legend, and Kelly Clarkson will be joined by newbie Ariana Grande. The fun kicks off with the blind auditions tonight at 8 p.m. Jay and Betsy, are you guys Voice watchers?
Love it.
My mom's a big watcher, so whenever I'm visiting her, I'll catch some episodes here and there. And I've always thought the chemistry between the judges, for me, is what makes that show so entertaining. The talent's great, but they're awesome together.
Yeah, they're a fun group, and I love how they all interact with each other, pulling pranks and things. It's a good time.
And based on the promo, Ariana comes in swinging. Like she's going to fit in right away. She is not laying back.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much,
Sure
Kara. Well, ahead for us here in the second half hour of What's New on this Victory Monday. You know, I got to think, we haven't heard from Mike Polk yet.
It's been a minute.
But Mike is going to join us with our top talker in 4 minutes.
And she may well be the oldest living person in the state of Ohio. And she shared with me today her earliest memory as a young girl. It's terrific. It's our show is something good, and it's coming up at 5:55.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We begin with 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. Police are searching for who shot and killed Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson's grandson last night. 24-year-old Frank Q. Jackson was shot in the area of East 70th Street in Sidaway near the Garden Valley Estates housing complex. Following the shooting, there was a heavy police presence in the area with many high-ranking police officials responding, including Police Chief Calvin Williams, who at times stood alongside Mayor Frank Jackson and City Councilman Blaine Griffin. At this time, police are asking people with information about the shooting to come forward and contact them.
Well, parents, we have some big news for you. Pfizer has released new data that shows its COVID vaccine is safe for kids between the ages of 5 and 11 years old. The study involved more than 2,000 kids and found that the vaccine is safe, well tolerated, and showed robust neutralizing antibody responses. Pfizer says it'll now submit the data to the FDA for emergency use authorization. This could be a game changer since pediatric cases have jumped 240% since the month of July.
And we have some more good news on the COVID front. Cases dropped to 4,899. That's 1,600 below our 21-day average. Keep in mind we are coming off a weekend. And our hospitalizations were also below the 21-day average. 214 more patients were admitted. And as of today, COVID patients make up 14% of total hospital beds across the state. That's just over 1% higher than last week. And on that note, we welcome you back to What's New. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
Happy Victory Monday, everybody. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
You left out the most important word. You know, it was weird. Last week at this time, the Browns were sitting at 0-1. So were the Ravens. They were in last place. And it was the Bengals and the Steelers who were 1-0 in first place. But as we talk to you today, everybody is even Steven. It's like it's down to a 15-game schedule now because all 4 teams in the AFC North 1-1.
So we're all tied.
That's the way we like. Yeah, it's all even.
There's still more to come, though. Something tells me don't get our hopes up yet.
Yeah, and we won't. We know there's a long way to go. And that brings us to our top talker. We're never one to scoff at a victory, and they're hard to come by.
Right.
And in the NFL, when you get them, you take them and you move on. You never, ever apologize for that. But I got to tell you, yesterday's 31-21 win over the Texans had some bumps in the road. It wasn't exactly a smooth ride for Browns fans.
Yeah, when Baker Mayfield went down, heart attack time. Well, our Mike Polk watches every snap of every game from the edge of his seat. And here's his observations for our Week 2 win.
Wah, I don't like how the Browns won that game yesterday. Wah, I expected more from this team. Wah, that was me being some of you. How soon they forget. Was it a pretty win yesterday? Not so much. But while it may indeed have been the Steve Buscemi of wins, it did have its moments. I can't say enough about how old number 6 played yesterday. What do you do when you don't have access to either of your superstar receivers? Well, if you're Baker, you adjust by spreading the ball around to your tight ends and finding other ways to make it work. And you go 19 of 21 for 213 yards and lead your team to a gritty, if not pretty, win. And of course, there were also some less positive aspects of the game. For example, the fact that Houston is a pretty abysmal team. And yes, there's the fact that their starting quarterback is Tyrod Taylor, who was already quite unremarkable back when the Browns had him when he was 3 years younger. It probably didn't help Houston when Taylor got injured and was replaced in the second half by rookie QB Daniel Mills, whose name is actually David Mills, but if I hadn't mentioned that, I'll bet almost none of you would have noticed. And that tells you something. The long and the short of it is, yes, Houston is a bad team, and it shouldn't have been that close. But the team that was supposed to win the game won the game. And that, for once, was us. Now, was it one for the ages that we'll be sharing fond memories of many years from now? No. But it was a win. And I can't believe I have to remind some people of this, but winning games is a relatively new phenomenon around here. Show the clip from the 0-16 parade again.
When do we want? Watchable football. When do we want it? Now!
Please recall that until very recently, it was usually the Browns who were the scrappy underdog organization that would at times overperform for a half before ultimately collapsing in the end. Examples. November 18th, 2012, the Browns lead 13-0 at halftime at Cowboy Stadium, only to be outscored 20-7 in the second half. Browns lose by 3. December 8th, 2013, amazingly, the Browns lead the Patriots in Foxborough 26-14 at the 2-minute warning before Tom Brady scores 2 unanswered touchdowns for the win. That one still haunts my dreams. And having experienced both the scrappy loss and unimpressive victory options, I tend to favor the latter, which is why I believe I'm able to fully appreciate the boundless beauty of such an ugly win. And it should be noted that in each of those games from yesteryear that I mentioned in which the Browns build up and then relinquished a comfortable lead, I was never granted even one moment of peace or confidence that we were actually not going to blow it and lose. I compare that to yesterday when, despite starting slow and looking pretty bad, I never had any real doubts that we were going to win, because the better team usually does. For the first time in a long time, that's us. And we're just going to have to get used to the idea of winning in all of its various incarnations. On to the next one, folks. This is Mike Polk, basking in a hideous victory for 3 News.
He nailed it. Once again, he nailed it.
I'm trying to get past the battle axe hanging behind him on the wall, but
I saw that,
beyond that,
once you did get past that,
the first few seconds, the wah, that is so how we are, isn't it? Like,
Listen,
we won, but
he understands the fan base because he is the heart of that fan base.
He's the one with the megaphone in the 0-16 parade, by the way.
That would be Mike. So he has such a gift, Mike does, for putting his finger exactly on the pulse of what we feel in these not so pretty wins and in the excruciating losses. And I thought he summed this one up beautifully. It was a win. It's on to Chicago.
Right.
And he's right. We do have to kind of figure out now how to win those games as the better team, because for so often we were not.
Yeah, you can't let your foot off the gas. You have to play to your abilities, not the other team's abilities.
That's
I felt like we've had problems with that in the past.
Yeah. I will say that I was nervous with Tyrod Taylor in the game. It would have been much closer had Tyrod not gone out with the hamstring injury.
I agree.
So I think the Browns caught a break there. But the beauty of it was when Baker had the ding shoulder, and I know it was this non-throwing shoulder, it's still painful to throw the football. And he was 10 for 10 after the injury, and we went to our strengths. Chubb, Hunt, and that's all we needed.
Yeah.
We've got the best run game in the NFL. I know.
It's like kind of.
I know, you have to hear that
You get kind of
twice.
giddy after you hear something like that. It's kind of nice.
I know, for a change, it is nice. Baker Mayfield paying tribute to fallen Navy Corpsman Max Soviak at yesterday's Browns win. We're going to have the details of that ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
Then our team put together a really cool video to help highlight Hispanic Heritage Month. It's going to make you want to grab your dancing shoes for sure. But first, Matt's got your weather in a Giphy. I love saying that because it drives our producer when he's
absolutely.
crazy.
No idea.
It's Jiffy.
We're what, 4 weeks into this? Still don't know how to say it right. It's great. I love it.
Go Gif.
I don't know if you're right or wrong, but I'll tell you, we talked about the rainfall. We've got a lot of that coming our way. We've also got a temperature change. This is going to be common across many area kitchens as we get into Thursday, Friday, and then next week as well. It is going to turn fall. Like, that's a pumpkin spice latte, by the way. That's, if you didn't know what that was, it's pumpkin spice.
Yes, I do. Can you hear me okay with my mic in this weird spot? Okay, mic check. This is what's clicking in Cleveland today. We talk about Baker and the aquarium. Okay, good.
Oh, summer's just been trucking right along. Warm, humid weather settling in. But I do have to tell you, Matt, I kind of took stock of where the sweatpants and flannel fat pants and sweatshirts and sweaters are in the closet, because I know what's coming.
Yeah, with quarantine, I know exactly where ours are. Top drawer still. That was the outfit. But yeah, for sure, Betsy. Things are going to switch this week. And, we were even looking at next week. Models still have to sort themselves out. But it looks like we're going to take a trend towards the cooler. And it may stick around for a while. All indication is. All right, we've got the Weather Prediction Center puts out excessive rainfall forecasts, right? If you get green on you, it's kind of rare. We usually don't see these heavy, potential flooding forecasts out. Today, no problem. But as we get into the daytime tomorrow, it starts to shift and you introduce the yellow. That's a slight risk. So that's a pretty good chance of some very heavy rainfall around. And then notice how it kind of wraps up in Northeast Ohio Wednesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, something's coming, right? If you missed the top of the broadcast, we'll kind of detail what that is. Not tonight, though. We've got spotty showers out there. Otherwise, clouds will thicken. Temperatures, we're on the muggy side. We're only going to fall into the upper 60s tonight. That humidity is laying on thick on that southerly wind. You see the clouds that it's blown in. We have had some light showers. We're keeping an eye on the Tribe doubleheader downtown tonight. And you can see a couple hits starting to pop there as you get over towards Pennsylvania. But again, rainfall will be in the forecast tonight. Will be widespread? I don't think so. I think it's going to be kind of hit or miss. And you can see a lot of rain down to the south. This isn't very well organized. This is kind of a slug of moisture that's heading north. And it's heading north to a stronger area of low pressure, which is up right now areas of Minnesota. This is really the third low with this system. They continue to wind up and head northeast. This system is the game changer. Much, much cooler fall-like air. The first snow in the Rockies over the course of the weekend. That cool air is heading our way. It's also going to spin up a pretty decent storm system that is going to have a prolonged period of some decent rainfall around here beginning tomorrow night. So let's take you with your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast through the rainfall chances. We've got the clouds, hit or miss showers tonight. Temperatures on the muggy side, as I mentioned, upper 60s. Tomorrow, temps aren't going to do a whole lot. We'll make it into the 70s. You notice how we have perhaps a wave of rainfall tomorrow morning. And then we kind of clear out again with just scattered showers. Tomorrow, I think very similar to what we dealt with today. It's tomorrow night that things start to change. Here comes our frontal boundary. There'll be a sharp line of some showers, even a couple rumbles along that. That'll move in Tuesday night. Pockets of heavy rain. Not constant, but pockets of heavy rain to wake up Wednesday morning. And then this front just sits, and it's going to sit all day Wednesday. We'll have periods of rain, heavy at times. The wind will start to pick up as well on Wednesday. So through Wednesday afternoon, we're talking perhaps a couple inches of rain, especially where it's prolonged. Models kind of favoring west right now, but everyone's going to get some rain. Problem is, it doesn't leave then. Another area low pressure is going to develop late Wednesday. That will wrap up and keep the rain around before it finally lifts north on Thursday. So that prolonged rain is what's really going to add up. We could use the rain in our soils, but not 5 inches of it. So in terms of rain timeline, it's Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Wednesday night that we'll see the heaviest rain. Eventually things will start to scour out. It'll be kind of messy on Thursday with the scattered showers, but the bulk of the rain looks to be consistent again starting tomorrow night. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast near 80 tomorrow, but then we're much cooler on Wednesday as that cooler air wraps in. Look at the 60s, kind of raw on Thursday. We get a rebound day on Wednesday. And then another system, very fast moving pattern, moves in here Saturday. So if you have weekend plans, we're going to be watching for some passing rain at that point. But Betsy, a lot of rain to get through here as we get to the midweek this week.
3 words: flannel fat pants. Yes.
Oh, yes, that sounds so comforting right
Favorite thing to wear in the world. All right, thanks so much, Matt.
Yeah, I guess it's time to dig mine out. I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're the best pants ever.
But
just wear them.
Okay. Right now, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a good Monday afternoon to you.
Good Monday to you, Jay. Good Victory Monday here in Cleveland. We've got good news from the Cleveland Clinic today, too. They broke ground today on a new facility in Menor, which they hope to have fully open in early 2023. This will be an $80 million hospital meant for patients in Lake and Northern Geauga counties. Right now, Cleveland Clinic has 8 locations in Lake County, and when this one in Menor is ready, Cleveland Clinic's Hillcrest Hospital will manage the new site. There will be Halloween fun happening soon at the Cleveland Aquarium with the return of its Pumpkins and Piranhas seasonal fun days. Get it? See? Like the ocean? You know I love a good bad pun. People of all ages are invited to come out and dress up in Halloween costumes for the event. There will be underwater pumpkin decorations, scuba divers in costume, treat bags for the kids, and trivia. Pumpkins and Piranhas runs from October 27th through the 29th with extended hours from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. And here's something about the Browns game you may not have caught on Sunday, a tribute to fallen Navy Corpsman Maxton Soviak. It was on Baker Mayfield's pre-game cleats, which had a photo of the petty officer and the words, "Rest in peace, Navy Corpsman Maxton Soviak." Soviak was from Berlin Heights and was one of the 13 U.S. military members killed in last month's attack on the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. Baker had these shoes custom made by Soles by Sir. That's a shoe design company out of Miami. Now, Jay, Betsy, because of the NFL uniform rules, he could only have these on during the pregame, not during the actual game, but a beautiful tribute on what turned out to be a beautiful day in Cleveland yesterday.
Amazing.
It was. Max played football at Edison High School, loved football. I'm sure that means a lot to the family.
It sure does, I'm sure.
Steph, thanks.
Well, everybody, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. We're going to show you a really cool video our team put together to help celebrate.
It's really cool.
It is. It's so good.
I just love it. Plus, Martha Alexander of Governor's Village in Mayfield Village turned 109 years old today. I'm going to share with you a fun story that she shared with me earlier today. We'll do that when What's New comes right back.
I love the land. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and 3 News is dedicated to highlighting our Hispanic community.
Yeah, recently our staff put together a really cool and fun musical commercial spotlighting our Hispanic community. It was inspired by Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights film. Look out for Leon Bibb.
Oh my God.
Take a look.
Hola, mis amigos. Join me for a tour through my city. It's full of culture, family, and amazing sights. You might be surprised to learn it's in your own backyard. Okay, here it goes. My name is Jorge, and you might know my name. I haven't hit fame, I'm telling stories in this refrain. What a beautiful day in the CLE to explore. I love my community, it's the place I adore. So I called my friend Marissa to check it out. Let us show you what this Latino scene is really all about.
Vamos, vamos. There's no time to waste. From the east side to the west side, Latinos Elite is our place. There's so many stories to share and discover. It's no wonder that our slice of the 216 is a stunner. From bling for her sweet 15
To great cuisine.
Crown a beauty queen.
What is this thing?
Check out this crib. Wait, is that Leon Bibb?
Hola, mis amigos.
Cue the band. It's the best in the land.
For the trumpet sound, so come on down.
We'll dance and cheer.
It's vibrant here.
I love the land. Es mi ciudad. I love the land. Es mi ciudad. I love the land. Es mi ciudad.
It's time to celebrate our strong Hispanic heritage for all to see and learn more about our exciting community.
Join us to discover our Latino stories in the CLE.
It's all right here on WKYC.
Isn't that adorable? The first time I
good.
saw it, it was actually in our boss's office, and he's like, wait, let's see what this looks like. And he pops it up, and we were both like, it's amazing. It's so
unbelievable.
vibrant and fun.
It's our producer Ryan that worked on it. It's beautifully shot. He is so talented. He's done a lot of our promotional efforts here. He did the incredible promo earlier this year on Russ as a young boy and the transformation. It was
He did Girls in STEM, too.
He's done so many, but it's beautifully shot. It looks like a mini movie.
It does.
And for my money, the Hola, mis amigos.
Aw.
I mean, Leon Bibb is our most interesting man at Channel 3. He really is. And I just think it was really well done. And I think it pays homage to the heritage, the Hispanic heritage in Cleveland. And you'll be seeing these stories throughout the month. Really, it runs from September 15th to October 15th, National Hispanic Heritage Month. So you'll be seeing stories about the heritage ties in Cleveland through October 15th.
And yes, Marissa and Jorge actually have that much energy.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic to have them with us.
It made me want to get up and dance around the newsroom.
Little salsa?
No one wants to see that, but it made me want to do that.
I mean, just put your plant on your desk and go behind the plant, and then you can do whatever you want to do.
I know.
If you knock it off, whoops, I win.
You really want to win this plant competition,
I had
don't
mine
you?
unwrapped first. I'm just saying.
It's okay. All right. Next, how far back does your earliest childhood memory go? Not as far as Martha Alexander's. She told me a story about her childhood today that, Betsy, get this, goes back 106 years.
Wow. Think
Wow
of the
is
stuff
right.
that she has seen in her lifetime. Just incredible. And coming up on What Matters Most at 6, a local college campus is on alert after a deadly weekend shooting. Why police need your help in their investigation. And today is National Pepperoni Day. Excuse me, it is National Pepperoni Pizza Day.
Ooh, even better.
What % of Americans prefer pepperoni over every other topping? Is it 45%, 64%, or 72%? We'll have the answer when we come back.
Yes, I'm Annie Abraham here outside the Akron Police Department, where we're talking about a fatal shooting that happened over the weekend.
Yeah, the mayor is intensely private, and he's soured on the media over the coverage of his grandson. Yep.
What up? Oh, David! What's going on? David in the house. Are you coming back to weekends?
Yeah. Hi, David. How are you? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, pretty good. How about you?
Yeah. Good mix of.
All right, before the break, we asked you what percentage of Americans prefer pepperoni on their pizza more than any other topping. The answer is?
I'd say 45%. Oh,
64%.
Yeah, I know
People
it's a
love
crowd
their
pleaser, but
pepperoni.
They really do, as their favorite topping.
The number one.
Okay.
By far.
All right, very good. Well, today's show is something good is one of my favorite. It takes us to Mayfield Village, where Martha Alexander celebrated her 109th birthday today. You may remember Martha from last year when we showed you her 108th birthday. Martha told me an incredible story this afternoon. I asked her, Betsy, for her youngest memory, her earliest memory. And she told me a story, giggling all the way through it, of her being 3 years old as a little girl. She was getting ready to go to a wedding with the family. She wanted to wear perfume like the older women. Mom said no, but she asked her aunt, who obliged.
Of course, green light from the aunt.
And she told me that Mom finally figured it out because she could smell the perfume on her. But she said basically until now, that's just been her little secret. A 106-year-old secret. She's 109 and has the youthful exuberance of a teenager. She lights up when she tells stories. Happy birthday, Martha. We all love you, and I'll see you again same time next year. She really is amazing.
What a tender little memory, too. It's, you know, it's not just that snapshot. What a sweet little moment.
She was born before World War I started.
Just incredible.
Amazing. We're out of time. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope you join us then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Lena starts right now.
Now at 6, Mayor in mourning. More questions than answers tonight about the shooting death of the grandson of Mayor Frank Jackson. Live team coverage of what we've learned thus far. Also, near campus tragedy.
It makes it very difficult for us to solve this on our own. We can't.
A University of Akron student loses her life in a shootout over the weekend. What police need to know to help their investigation. Pfizer findings.
The antibody response that these children received after getting this vaccine was able to neutralize the virus.
It is being called a groundbreaking move forward to getting young children vaccinated against COVID. And Victory Monday, the Browns savor that big win over the Titans and look ahead to next week's game against the Bears. Nick Camino with a preview of that.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Hey, good evening. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Lena Lai. It was a weekend of gun violence in Cleveland. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson's own grandson, Frank Q. Jackson, was killed late last night on the city's east side. And this evening, police are working to piece it all together. Brandon Simmons begins our team coverage with what we know so far and more on the victim's troubled past.
The scene appears like that of past homicides, a heavy police presence, police tape blocking the street, and witnesses nearby as police investigate a Sunday night homicide. But this investigation is much more personal for city officials. The victim, 24-year-old Frank Q. Jackson, the grandson of Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson. The mayor and police chief Calvin Williams were at Garden Valley Estates near East 70th Street and Sidaway in the moments following the shooting just after 9 p.m. Sunday. Nearby, others began to grieve. Details are scarce, with police asking anyone with information to come forward. The mayor's grandson has been in the news several times in recent years with some troubling headlines. In 2019, the investigation of Antonio Parra's murder led police to the mayor's home, where Frank Q. Jackson also lived. A truck was towed from the scene, and a car registered to the younger Jackson was found elsewhere after being set on fire, but he was never charged. Also in 2019, Frank Q. Jackson was involved in the violent